the 100 times, 99.9% of the time, I quit. Because you can be the wrong person in the wrong place. There are countless instances where people lost their lives in wedding halls, funeral halls. One very famous one happened last year. A lot of people lost their lives in a so-called, mistake airstrike, what is called collateral damage. So around 140-something people lost their lives. Tens of others lost their lives because they were in critical conditions and could not get on a plane to get out of the country. Airspace is closed. To get them to travel all the way to the open airport in Aden, at the time was not an option, I believe. It takes me, with an international organization, to go to Aden with all the permits I have. It took me 11 hours. And I'm not injured. Can you imagine traveling all the way with somebody who's already lost a limb, or somebody in a critical condition? It's something that is heartbreaking. There were nights, I have a mother she suffers high blood pressure. So I spent sleepless nights making sure my mother's earplugs are in her ears. Whenever I hear an airplane, I just run to her room, making sure that she has the earplugs. My brother had to leave the country with his wife and kids. He chose to, because his wife couldn't handle the stress. It was too much for her. Because he was living also in a hot zone area. And to be honest, everywhere is a hot zone area. You can be neighboring somebody. You can be just the wrong person passing by, the wrong checkpoint, let's say. Or somebody who's somebody's, I just don't like you. This is the severity of the situation we got to. I personally remember nights, and that's in Ramadan. Last year, I was fasting. I queued for fuel for my car for 11 hours. Just to fill my car. The simple right to have fuel in my car and drive. On the ground, we were told there is no fuel by parties controlling the ground. From the air, I could see anti-aircrafts and planes, and there were 2 airstrikes just to get my car fueled. We got to a point where I personally paid $100 for a 20-liter petrol jerrycan. Because we had to run the generators. We do not have powers. People are losing their lives in kidney centers because they can't. The facilities are basically collapsing, if not already collapsed. The infrastructure does not exist anymore. It's at the verge of basically having nothing. So the crisis is there. We are living in a crisis. We just need to maybe unforget it. It's forgotten for so many different reasons, but it's with the will of people like you to push to have this as a priority. There are people losing their lives in Yemen, and they deserve much better than this. When I was here, when I finished my visit quite soon, but I consider it as a fruitful visit. I met a few people who are interested in what's going on in Yemen, and I feel that, okay, we're living in a crisis. I know that I gave a very gloomy picture of what's going on in Yemen, but Yemenis are so resilient. It's unbelievable how resilient we are. Life moves on despite anything. despite the fact that now we are a nation living on food vouchers. Civil servants are paid vouchers instead of salaries. So try exchanging your food voucher for rent, or going to the pharmacy and asking for medication with that. Just picture that. But life moves on. In the midst of all this, hope still exists. We are hoping, and if me, who live in that situation, and I'm amongst the lucky ones, thank God, I'm amongst the lucky ones. If I can go through this, and I think there's hope, it's only through political will that this needs to end. Military action is not going to get this anywhere. It hasn't gotten it anywhere in 3 years. I don't think it will get it anywhere. But it's time to take action. And it's now or maybe never, or a bit too late. But I leave with this message: where there's a will, there's a way. And it's in the hands of people like you and governments who believe in human rights to make that happen. I leave you with a message. In the midst of crisis, we can make all these beautiful things. These are made by women in Yemen. I don't know how they do it. Where do they get power from? Where do they get their fuel from, or how they get it done? But we're so resilient, and with the help of people who believe like us, I think we can make it happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your story, and also for showing us the other side of Yemen, the side where the hope is still alive. Thank you very much. Nu als er vragen zijn voor Lina of Julien, dan kan dat, zegt u het maar.
My name is Rami. I live here in Holland for 17 years, and my wife is next to me. She lives here for 1 year. I have a question for
Lina?
Miss Lina.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got a bit emotional.
No.
And you get me emotional.
Thank you, first of all, for the information. As Yemenis, we feel really hopeless. We think there is no solution for the conflict in Yemen. What we can do here, because you know the situation in Yemen, sending money is not enough sometimes. And everything we are doing, she never feels, she always feels guilty, because she feels, okay, I am here, my family is still in Yemen. Can you give us some advice to?
First of all, I don't blame her, because I'm sitting here, and the first thing I do when I call my mom is like, are you guys okay? Is my brother okay? And every time I get a message, or I check on the net and I hear of an airstrike, I just feel so guilty that I'm here and I should be there with my family, you know, going through what they are going. But you have a responsibility towards your country. You can advocate for that. You can advocate for having the voices of Yemenis amplified. You're a Yemeni. You feel the pain. I don't know. Let me say this in Arabic. La samahallah. You lost one of your family members. La samahallah. We don't have to go through the pain of losing a loved one to care. I think as human beings, let alone as Yemenis, you would not want to see kids dying because they can't eat. You don't want to see a woman kill herself and her 2 daughters because she simply doesn't find anything to eat or feed them. She chose to end her life. I know this might sound stupid or brutal, but that's the way, that's how dignified women are. She would not go and beg. Yeah, her family or her relatives supported her, but then they gave up. Maybe because of different reasons. Maybe they don't have we got to a point in Yemen where the communal thinking is there, the community love and care for each other is there, but my family comes first. If I have to feed my children, then I prefer to make sure that they have the next meal. I'll give the very little I can. But you can advocate for your country. In little roles we play, we can make change. I hope that helped. And it's okay, you can buy. You're back there.
Thank you.
So, can you please explain a bit more why is it that this conflict is so little in the news here in the Netherlands?
I don't think I'm the best person to answer that question, but it needs to be. There's so many reasons that one can start counting why this is not happening, but I don't think I'm the best person to answer that kind of question at this point.
Well, ik ook niet, maar wat ik nog even wil uitleggen, what I'd like to explain, maybe I'll continue in English as well, just for the coherence of the conversation. I think what is maybe really needs to be really clear is no journalists are allowed into the country, so it's very difficult to actually get stories out of Yemen right now. So that's why this movie is that we made is so important. It was a really long journey. We were very creative in getting all the footage out on multiple hard drives. But I think so. One issue is that there's the lack of international media. The other issue is, of course, it's also a very political crisis and a political war. And then, of course, it's competing with Syria, with Iraq. You know, there's so much happening right now. So that's why also I think